50,000 people were sitting in Rome's largest arena. They were shouting, they were cheering, they were sweating under the sun. And below, behind the iron bars, a group of people was waiting. Their hands were tied, but their faces were calm. The gate opened, the lion entered, and those people did not run away. Why? The answer to this question is one of the least understood mysteries of history, because these people were not stupid. They were not crazy. They were not people who wanted to die, but they died. And these deaths created a religion that today still 2 billion people believe in. Stop. Because the real question is not this: how did they die? The real question is, why did they not give up? First, we need to understand this. Rome was actually quite flexible regarding religious tolerance. You could worship Egyptian gods. You could perform Greek rituals. You could continue the worship of your own culture. Rome had only one condition: accept the emperor as a god too. Just a symbolic jest. Burn a pinch of incense. Bow before the emperor's statue. And you are free. Even the Jews had received a special exemption in this regard. Respecting thousands of years of tradition, Rome exempted them from this obligation. Christians could have done the same thing, but they did not. Why? Because for them, this symbolic jest was actually everything. Jesus is Lord, they said. There was no other Lord, not even the emperor. And this sentence was a direct challenge to Rome. Here is the part that very few people know. The early Christians were not killed because of their faith. At least, Rome did not think so. According to Rome, the Christians were guilty, but the list of charges was incredible. Cannibalism, the eat his body, drink his blood ritual, was distorted and reported from the outside. Rumors spread that Christians ate children, incest. They called each other brother and sister. They gathered behind closed doors. The gossip did the rest. Atheism. They did not worship the gods of Rome. At that time, this meant godless person. Treason against the state. They did not accept the emperor as a god. This was a political crime. The historian Tacitus wrote in 64 AD, "This group hated for their enmity to mankind, not a religion, a threat." Rome tried to crush Christians not for their beliefs, but because they opposed the basic order of society. 64 AD. Rome is burning. A 14-day fire. 2/3 of the city turned to ashes. And Emperor Nero had a question to answer. Who did it? The finger pointed at the Christians. Tacitus described that night, and what he described? Christians were wrapped in the skins of wild animals and torn apart by dogs. Some were crucified. Others were burned as torches in the darkness of night, in Nero's gardens. Nero himself was there as a spectator. But know this, after that night, the number of Christians in Rome did not decrease, it increased. Now stop and really think. You have an option in your hand. You will burn a pinch of incense. You will say a single sentence. The emperor is God. And you will live. You will return to your family. You will see your children. You will see the morning sun. Why did they not do this? Historians give different answers to this question. Some say, resistance was a matter of identity. If I do this small thing, I am no longer me. We no longer exist. Some say, death was not an end for them. They believed in the resurrection, that Jesus came out of the tomb, and that they would too. But a historian said something very striking. No one sells a lie for that dear a price. So think about this. If they fabricated the resurrection of Jesus, they died knowing this. They were thrown before lions for a lie. This does not make sense. Here is one of the greatest ironies of history. The more Rome crushed them, the more it grew. In 64 AD, there were a few thousand Christians in Rome. In 100 AD, tens of thousands. In 300 AD, millions. In 313 AD, Emperor Constantine freed Christianity. In 380 AD, it became the official religion of Rome. The empire that threw Christians before the lions turned into a Christian empire 200 years later. A 2nd century theologian named Tertullian wrote this: "The blood of Christians is the seed of the church," and history proved him right. Every martyr attracted 10 new people to this movement. Persecution magnified the very thing it wanted to end. Rome was a tolerant empire, but it did not show tolerance to these people. The accusations were not real, but the deaths were real. They could have burned incense and escaped, but they did not. And persecution spread the very thing it wanted to end to the world. Now, I am asking you a single question. What do you say to this? Do people pay that dear a price for something they know is wrong? Or were these deaths truly the last breath of people who had witnessed something? Write your answer in the comments. I really wonder. And let me tell you this story does not end here. In the next video, we will address a much deeper question. What did the early Christians see? The historical evidence of the resurrection claim. Subscribe now so you don't miss it.